This here is a Camera Obscura. But unlike your ancestors' Obscura, this one has a special trick up its sleeve. It can record in 3D. Find out how today on Tekavou.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tekavou, the channel where I upgrade products in unexpected ways using the magic of tech. Recently, there was a total solar eclipse in parts of North America. While the moon and the sun played peekaboo, many reached for their solar glasses. Meanwhile, others used the most state-of-the-art technology out there, a cereal box with a small pinhole in it. I'm of course referring to the subject of today's episode, the Camera Obscura. The Camera Obscura is a dark box with a tiny small pin-sized hole in the front. If you peek into the box, whatever is in front of the camera is projected upside down on the opposite end. While this sounds deceptively simple, it's actually... No, you're right, it is deceptively simple. My preschooler had no trouble creating one on their own. The Camera Obscura dates back to an era before cameras had their own phone numbers. Now imagine this, a world where digital pictures and films ruled the world. Room-sized Camera Obscuras were all the rage. Artists would walk into these giant chambers and they would start tracing whatever image was projected, creating the olden time versions of Instagram filters. This is what leads to the name Camera Obscura. It comes from Latin. It actually just means dark chamber. And yes, like their modern versions, they were also very handy at watching solar eclipses without, turning your eyeballs into sunny side up eggs. So in a nutshell, the only thing a Camera Obscura can really do is project a 2D image onto a wall. Or is it? That's exactly the question I want to answer today. The mission is simple. I want to see if a Camera Obscura can be modified to create a 3D image. This project will require a little bit of trial and error, but we'll still break it down into two steps. 1. Designing the Camera Obscura. To see in 3D, you need two perspectives. It's sort of like how you need both eyes to appreciate the glory of a 3D movie. Sorry to all you Cyclopses watching this. Cyclopses? Cyclopi? That's a plural of that. Sorry to all the one-eyed pirates watching this. So to recap, we'll need to create a camera that can take two pictures from two different perspectives. 2. Record the footage. This is the fun part. There's no tracing here like in the olden days. We're going to need a little bit more precision than that if we want to record in 3D. Once we have both perspectives, we'll need to stitch them together to create that stereoscopic image. Okay, sounds like a plan. Let's begin. Before we dive headfirst into our build, let's take a little moment to demystify why a Camera Obscura turns the world upside down. The hole needs to be small, almost pin-sized. While that sounds incredibly tiny, it's actually many times larger than a photon of light. When light passes through the small hole, it continues in a straight line until it hits the wall. And if you follow the lines, you'll notice that the bottom part ends up at the top and the top at the bottom. The image is also flipped as a result. I'll be honest, even after knowing this, my brain is still doing a backflip trying to comprehend it. Let's try a different analogy, something you can experiment with at home. Go stand in front of a mirror. You probably already know that your reflection is backwards, and if you don't, well, consider your mind blown. Lean towards the left and look at the right. You should be able to see what's behind the right-hand side of the wall. If you stand up and you look down, you'll be able to see things that are at the bottom edge. It's like peering through a portal. Of course, the light isn't going through a hole like with a Camera Obscura, but the concept is the same. So now that we understand why the image is inverted, let's break down why we need two cameras to see the 3D effect. Think of it this way. When you're looking at something, each eye is looking at the world through a different perspective. Your left eye is catching more of the left-hand side, your right eye on the right-hand side. Both eyes have their own vantage point. Your brain then takes these two views and puts them together, creating a sense of depth. This is why we can see the world in 3D rather than flat like a photo. Just like our eyes work together to capture the world in 3D, our Camera Obscura is going to need to be able to take two vantage points. So that means that we need to create two holes that are 66 millimeters apart from each other. Each pinhole will catch a different perspective, and when we put the views together, we create that awesome 3D effect. My initial blueprint was simple. I'll 3D print a small little box with a pin-sized hole in the front. On the backhand side, I'll put a sheet of mylar. Mylar is a translucent milk-like paper. I'll then create a second box and attach it to the back. Inside that box, there'll be an ESP32, which is like a small little computer that has a camera. The idea here is that light will come in through the front, project itself on the mylar paper, and then the ESP32 will record what's happening. I knew that there would be issues with this, but this was a bigger disaster than the time I tried creating a podcast for mimes. First, the mylar gave me a picture that was as clear as a foggy shower window. Second, the camera's performance in low light was as disappointing as a decaf coffee during an all-nighter. And lastly, the image was so small it could have been mistaken for a postage stamp. Time for a change of plans. As luck would have it, I received a delivery that day, a brand new scarf. It was a perfect size, it was a nice deep black, exactly what I needed. Oh, I'm not talking about the scarf, I returned that. I'm talking about the box itself. It was the perfect dimensions for a Camera Obscura prototype. I pierced two tiny holes in the front and I put a sheet of paper on the back. I sealed the whole thing together with some black tape. and then I made a slot so I can place my phone inside to snap a picture, just to make sure that everything was okay, and to take any measurements that I would need for my real version. This makeshift prototype worked like a charm on the first try. This has never happened before. Not only did this work really well, but I no longer needed my ESP32. I could now use my phone to snap a picture. Don't worry, little guy, you'll be of use soon enough. I then had another eureka moment. It's probably Cyclops's because the origin is Greek and not Latin. No wait, not that one, the other moment. Why not just use one camera obscura and switch between the two pinholes? This would allow recording two slightly different perspectives necessary for that 3D magic. It was now time to jump back to my 3D prototyping. The first idea was to make half the model and then mirror it for the rest. It should be identical after all. This design turned out to be pretty flimsy. I was having a hard time securing the white paper to the back, and there were a few other issues as well. Okay, let's rethink this. What if instead of putting a paper in the back, I simply 3D printed a white wall? I could then attach it from behind and it would be a perfect fit. At the same time, I also redid my phone holder to be a little bit more solid. After a few more tweaks, my design was finished. And there it was, fresh out of the 3D printer. There's nothing like that smell of freshly melted, possibly toxic plastic. Okay, step 1 is done. Time to record some footage. I'll be honest here, I wasn't expecting this design to be so simple, so the next part should be a breeze. My pinholes are set, so it's just a matter of covering one hole, snapping a picture, and then swapping with the other one. Since I finished my project the day before the solar eclipse, I was ready to capture the event as it started. Unfortunately, my phone was too smart for its own good and it ruined the whole thing. I can just see those ESP32s laughing in my shelf. Let me explain. See, modern phones use machine learning and algorithms to assist you. So if you take a picture of a common object, like say the sun or the moon, the algorithm will try to detect any defects in the image and try to repair it for you. It's like autocorrect, but with pictures. But in this case, way worse. When I snapped a picture of the moon partially covering the sun, the hamsters in my phone decided, wait, this is just a badly exposed picture. It corrected the image to a full sun for me. Thanks, hamsters. When I eventually noticed what had happened, I tried to fiddle with my settings, but alas, my phone wanted nothing to do with it. It was right, I was wrong. There was no once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon happening here. It's okay, I learned my lesson. I'll just prepare a bit better for the next solar eclipse, which happens in my neck of the woods in 181 years from now. Hopefully it doesn't rain on that day. Instead of a total eclipse picture, I present you with the next best thing. This commercial break.
Ever wish you had a camera obscura that could snap pictures in 3D? Of course you have, and good news, your dream is about to become a reality. Introducing the Stereoscopic Camera Obscura by Tekavou. This state-of-the-art device features not one, but two pinholes. Simply put in your phone, snap 2 pictures, and presto, you're almost done. Just a quick 30 minutes of editing and you too can marvel at amazing 3D pictures. Don't believe me? Just look at the stunning images this thing can produce, like this Pokeball, or this moonless solar eclipse picture. And this picture of, maybe Toad from Super Mario? What are you waiting for? Pre-order yours today and get it in time for the next total eclipse, which is just one lifetime away. Warning, stereoscopic camera obscuras may cause nausea, eye strain, and a profound sense of existential dread. Smartphone, software, and camera not included. Tekavou.
Well, there you have it, folks. A fully functional stereoscopic camera obscura. I learned a lot while making this video, and I hope you learned a few things as well. We learned about how camera obscuras work, why photography is actually upside down, how stereoscopic images work, and why relying on smartphones to take pictures of solar eclipses is not the best idea. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more of my tech upgrades, please consider subscribing. Any questions before I go? Yes, you.
Wouldn't this project be a lot simpler if you used one camera obscura, snapped a picture, moved it a little, and then snapped another?